We turn next to science. There has been a lot of research done in the field of same-sex attraction. To answer the most frequently asked questions about homosexuality, we turn to someone who comes from a place of science and faith.
There's plenty that we don't know, plenty that we should be open to learning, things that we should be open to researching. I don't think Christians have anything to fear from research, from science done well. I think the biggest misconception would be the idea that homosexuality is chosen, and it's not really recognizing that a young person finds themselves with these attractions and now, yes, does face choices. How will I live my life in light of what I experience? But I think to declare that the attractions themselves were a choice, I think is a mistake and a very common one. One of the most frequently asked questions I receive is what causes homosexuality. It's usually framed back as its nature versus nurture. And people will study, regions of the X chromosome. They'll look at prenatal hormonal exposure, even like finger length ratio and birth order effects. And then that's often juxtaposed with nurture from the environment in some ways. And I would say the two most popular theories among social conservatives would be it's childhood sexual abuse or it's faulty parent-child relationships. If you do survey adults who are gay or lesbian, they would be more likely to point to childhood sexual abuse in their history. But most people who've experienced the trauma of sexual abuse as a child develop a heterosexual orientation. Similarly, with parent-child relationships, many people will report faulty relationships, difficult relationships with their parents, most of whom develop a heterosexual orientation. The conclusion today among most behavioral scientists is that we really don't know what causes homosexual orientation. There's multiple contributing factors from both nature and nurture. When we get to the question of whether sexual orientation can change, it's also a very complex question. I think for some people, they experience both attraction to the same and opposite sex, or they experience same-sex attraction but not as strong as another person who might be kind of wall-to-wall homosexual in their orientation. If you believe that orientation cannot change at all, it's an immutable characteristic, our data pushed back against that and suggested that for some people, there was change. There was an average change for some people, and averages suggested pretty significant change for some. I don't think that it was very often 180 degrees. I think that would probably be a mistaken way to think about that data. On the other side of the continuum are people who say that orientation can change if you try hard enough or have enough faith. And I think that our study didn't support that position either. Most people did not experience as much change as they had hoped for.